Hey guys, Panzer J back here in Operation Casino Royale. We're up to turn number 3. It's July of 1937, so 3.2 for the CCP and 3.3 for the Soviet Union. So let's look at the CCP first. So I have a couple of options here. So first purchases, we're going to spend just to to increase our influence roll. That's it. We're not buying any units. So we have a couple of options here that we could go for. So the best roll we'd have is we try for what's this, Hope. So we're bordering Hope with 2 land zones. So that would give me, and if I spent 2 IPP, that's 4 or less. And then I would get both of these territories because it's the same warlord there. But the problem there is that's right in the path of the Japanese juggernaut there. So I wouldn't hold that, and I doubt I'd even get a chance to take advantage of those units there. So I don't really want to go there. So then that leaves us 3 options, and all of them only give me a roll of 2 or less. Xinjiang, Tibet, and Xinjiang. I only border each of those territories with one of my territories, so it'd only be a roll of a 2. So, of those 3, Xinjiang has the most units, and also it allows me to touch borders there with the Soviet Union, and then once a railroad's built, get that bonus. So that is the advantage there. But if I go for one of these territories down here, I'm then adjacent to other territories that once the Japanese attack could go my way. So, but the only problem here with Xikang is that Rich has got the 2 territories with a total of like 10 infantry. So he could probably just take Xikang right back. So really it comes down to either Tibet or Xinjiang. Let's see. I mean, I guess we're still early in the game, so I guess we'll hold off here, I suppose. We're going to try for Tibet. So we are bordering it with 1 territory. We're going to spend the 1 IPP, so we need a 2 or less. Okay, so let's go for our influence roll here at 2 or less. Oh my god. That was a 2 for like a second. I was going to... oh well. Okay, so we're right here. How about a recruitment roll of 3 or less? Well, of course, there's the 3 we needed on the first roll. So nothing for the CCP. So we don't come away with anything there. So we spent a buck, and we're at 3, so we'll have 8 for next turn. So close. Oh well. Non-combat, we're going to move... how about we move... I guess we'll move the... what do we want to do here? I guess we'll move the cavalry and the infantry from Qinghai into Shenxi. So Shenxi will have 2 militia, 2 mountain infantry, 3 cavalry, 3 infantry. And there's a militia in Qinghai and 2 militia in Suyan. Okay, and then again they finish with 8 bucks. Okay, on to the Soviet Union and Spain. So the Russians have 15 to spend, and we're going to actually spend our first $2 of the game. We're going to upgrade 2 infantry to motorized infantry and save the other 13. So, and then tech rolls, we're going to go for... I debated on this one too, kind of like in China there. So the deal here is I need jets and rockets for a victory point, but they're both kind of useless tech. So I know eventually at some point I have to go for them, but advanced artillery is much more useful. So we're going to try for advanced artillery, not on the board, 7 or higher. And then I got my 2 die out for my recruitment rolls again, 4 for Mongolia. And right now we currently only have 4 territories in Spain, but we're hoping to get a 5th here. So, okay, so on to combat. The only combat's going to be here in Spain. I went back and forth on this too. I mean, there is a walk-on. We're currently surrounded in Madrid, so if things stay like that, then we're pretty much easy pickings for Pete there on Germany's next turn. So I could just come here and do a walk-on, break the surround, and call it a day. But we're on the losing end of this battle anyway, so let's go for broke. We're going to go into Catalonia. So Pete has 2 infantry and an artillery. We're going in with the infantry from Madrid and a fighter and a medium bomber. So he does get a first strike, so let's see. His artillery is a 3. A 10 misses. We got our medium bomber at a 7. A 1 does hit. A fighter at a 6. A 4 does hit. And an infantry at a 1. A 1 does hit. Wow. Okay, so we did get 3 hits. The artillery already fired, so he's got 2 infantry at 4s. And a 10 and a 12 both miss. So that was an amazing battle. That's Pete luck right there. That is absolutely Pete luck. Okay, so we take Catalonia with an infantry and break the surround. The fighter and the medium bomber fly back to Madrid. And that's it. No non-combat. We're going to keep the sub right there. Just a little bit. I know a couple of you guys were wondering why I'm not putting anything into Spain. Basically, Russia starts out with such little money that I figured that Russia needs the money much more than Lend-Lease into Spain, especially on a lost cause. The Axis takes Spain 90% of the time. And even if by some miracle I was able to take it, it would follow the Allies down the road, I'm sure. So I wasn't going to throw away good money after bad, if that's the way the saying goes. So we're just going to hold on as long as we can and give Pete as much trouble as we can. Okay, so now, while we're here, let's do our recruitment roll. So we now have 1, 2, and then the 3 overseas territories. So that's a 5 or less. 5 does hit. So we will... I guess we'll add an infantry to Madrid. So put an infantry down there. Okay, so now on to the Soviet Union. We have our tech roll. So we need a 7 or less with advanced artillery. A 12, wow. Other than the CCP this turn, we are crushing the die rolling. Okay, so advanced artillery, stage 1. Okay. So again, there was obviously no attacks from the Soviet Union, so how about non-combat? So over here, we are going to take this fleet submarine, 1, 2, 3, to M8. This torpedo boat destroyer, 1, 2, to I4. We are going to take a destroyer, a heavy cruiser, or 2 destroyers and a heavy cruiser, down 1, 2. Make a nice little fleet down here in M7. Nothing in the Far East. Down here, we're going to take our 2 infantry in North Caucasia down to Transcaucasia. We're going to rail the 2 cavalry in Transcaucasia. This will be our 2 rail moves. So we're going to rail them all the way up to Kola. We're going to take one of the infantry in Karelia over to Kola. We're also going to take the cavalry in Karelia up to Kola. We're then going to have the infantry in northern Russia move to Karelia, the 2 infantry in western Russia up to Karelia, the light armor in western Russia up to Karelia. We've got this light cruiser here in A12 is going to move back 1 to A14. We've got a destroyer here in A28 is going to go 1, 2, 3 to M12. We've got an infantry in eastern Ukraine is going to back off to Royale. An infantry in Stalingrad is going to move up 1 to Tula-Lipetsk. Our air transport is going to fly over 1-2 to Leningrad. And I believe that's it. So our two motorized upgrades are these two infantry that were already in Royale. So I got to get another chip there. So let's take a look here. Okay, so that gives us two more motorized in Royale. And what else? That was it for unit placement. How about our Mongolian recruitment roll and collect income? Okay, so first the Mongolian recruitment roll. We need a 4 or less. 7 we miss. We're definitely, I think we're over 3 with Mongolia. Okay, so that's it. Collect income. The Russians saved 13, and we're sitting at 7, so that'll be 20. So 20 for the Soviet Union and 8 for the CCP. Let's do a quick unit recap. Just some of the territories that got a handful of units. So in M7, we have a fleet submarine, a coastal submarine, 2 destroyers, and a heavy cruiser. Transcaucasia has 4 infantry. C-Zone A14, 2 fleet subs, and a light cruiser. Kola, 3 cavalry and an infantry. Karelia, 5 infantry, 2 light armor. Leningrad, fortification, coastal artillery, militia, seaplane, air transport, tactical bomber, 2 fighters. And then the only other thing that changed really, well, we got an infantry in Tula-Lipetsk, and in Royale we now have 1 infantry, and it should be 7. 3, 6, 7. Yep, 7 motorized infantry. And Spain, real quick, an infantry in Catalonia, and in Madrid, 2 militia, an infantry, a fighter, and a medium bomber. So that should be it for CCP, Soviet Union. Turning it over now to Boston Bruce and Japan.